Like, because around this time, Alicia Silverstone... Blah, 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 blah.
Clear the air lanes for the big broadcast.
We're not professional podcasters.
Say what? We barely know what we're doing.
It's funny because it's true.
But we have fun anyway.
I'm here to podcast.
Does everybody know what time it is?
We're going streaky! Yeah!
No, we're not. It's time for movies, pop culture, and more with the all-new Culture Cast, starting now. I'm Nick.
I'm the Gorehound.
And I'm Jen.
And this is the all-new Culture Cast, back after a couple of weeks off. Also back after the awful, unique, good, bad, I don't know, experiment that was our last episode. In which it was just me.
The solo run?
The solo run.
I have not gotten around to checking that out, but I will. I will certainly.
Did you have fun with it, is the question.
Well, I guess so. I don't know. It was... I
don't know how I felt about it.
This month, we are in June officially, and this is the month of Jen.
Absolutely.
Birthday.
It's your birthday weekend, so happy birthday, Jen.
Thank you very much.
And congratulations are in order.
Oh, thank you.
Is that being broadcasted?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
I was going to do it anyway. I don't care.
Yeah.
Jen is engaged to to her fiance, obviously. Friend of the show, occasional guest, and fellow podcaster Thor from Thor's Hour of Thunder.
Nice.
So
you got it right the first round.
I know. I thought I was going to screw it up again. So congratulations, you two.
Yes, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
And Jen, I know you haven't asked yet, and I know you're just too shy, but I think I can speak for myself and the Gorehound is that we will gladly, happily share the title of Matron of Honor.
I love it. Oh my god. I cannot wait to see the bachelorette party you guys come up with.
Oh,
probably going to be pretty nerdy.
Oh, it would be... What you call nerdy will be completely epic by our standards, so...
We should go to the Burlesque Tango Theater again. See what is playing that week.
Playing?
Yeah.
So congratulations. We should podcast at her wedding. How great would that be, Gorehound?
Oh my god.
I think that a recorded podcast at a live event would be phenomenal. Well, I think that our what was that? The live? It's not live.
It's not.
I mean, all podcasts are live.
No, because we're not broadcasting directly to the internet.
Like when we're all in person.
Yeah.
The Hop podcast.
Yes, I think that was the best ever, and I think that we can only get better from there.
Listen, I cannot think of a better way to podcast than at a wedding. So it's just there's just like like music behind you, just like playing over your words. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, Bluetooth earpieces. I mean, that is the way to do it.
Way of the future.
Yeah.
So we'll stick a pin in that and come back to that when we get closer to the date. But in all seriousness, congratulations, you two.
Thank you.
And let's get on to Jen month. So each week this month, Jen had picked out a topic that we are going to discuss because it's
wide variety of topics of different cultural mediums.
Yes, this is kind of a response to what Jen had to suffer through with the Kevin Smith month. So
you know what, guys? I want you to know from the bottom of my heart, I super hated it.
I don't think we will feel the same way about your topics. I think that your topics have more potential for agreeable content.
All right, good to hear. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think it'll be good for us to do some different types of topics. I think people are going to be into it.
Yeah, I agree.
Instead of Kevin Smith.
It's like when we did the Kevin Smith podcast, I think.
Oh, yeah. It's a
Well, I did not
podcast,
enjoy
not a
the podcast. I think our podcast about the podcast was a good podcast.
I'm obsessed. I'm sorry. I'm not actually. No, I'm not going to apologize for that. Just for the line that I was able to keep on repeating. It's a podcast about a podcast.
It's a coffee table book about a coffee table book. Alrighty, so I guess we've gone like 6 minutes here. We haven't even talked about what our topic is today. We're going to be talking about the classic 1995 film Clueless. But before,
just over 20 years old.
Yeah, wow, that's a weird thought that the 90s are 20 years ago. At least for me. I don't know about what you guys feel. But before we jump into our topic de jour, let's get on to one of our regular segments. What have you been watching?
What have you been watching?
Jen?
Man, this is going to be a big one.
Well,
Guys.
You go first, Jen.
Okay, this is. I know sometimes I come to you with some depressing things I've been watching. Today is no exception. On Netflix, they're featuring a documentary called The Keepers, which is all about the murder of a nun in the 1960s and how, it was probably basically covered up by the Catholic Church. It is very depressing. It's based off of an article that came out 2 years ago, which I had read at the time. And it was so interesting to read about these people who were investigating the death of their teacher 50 years ago that, Netflix decided to make a series about it. And listen, it is very depressing.
It sounds depressing.
It does, but
nothing else about it. Just
I will say it's very good because it features a lot of women over the age of 60, which is not something you see in a lot of pop culture.
Yeah.
Plus, it's about my favorite thing, which is murder.
Oh, I thought you were about to say nuns.
I do enjoy nuns too. Sure.
Yeah. On a tangential note, whenever I leave my work at the same exact time, 4:00 every day. Assuming I leave at 4:00, there's a nun who is walking across the street. I have no idea why she's walking across the street because there's no church within the vicinity anywhere. So,
it's a great story, Gorehound. Can you tell it again?
Don't dare me.
Alrighty. Gorehound, what have you been watching?
Quite a bit. I don't know if I've mentioned, but I'm in the process of trying to buy a house. Keyword trying. We put in quite a few offers and none of them are really sticking, but because we are buying houses, I've been thinking about houses in general, and that's got me going towards haunted houses. And so I have been wanting to watch a haunted house horror movie, and I ended up buying all of the Amityville horror movies.
Okay.
So I'm waiting for the first one to get in, and I'm just going to cruise right on through because I was trying to find like a legit haunted house horror movie and found that most of the times it's either like a demon that's in the house or some, terrestrial murderer or something like that. Very rarely is it the house, and I felt that the Amityville was the most solid series that had the most literally haunted house. And I've been watching some Shameless and some other various TV shows on and off, and a whole bunch of random movies in and out. So, but Shameless has been holding me steady.
I've been catching up on some TV shows. Primarily, I finally got caught up with Empire, which just has season finale a few weeks back.
You guys really like that one.
We do. It's total trash, but it's it's like the McDonald's of television. You know it's bad, but it's so good too.
Yeah.
And we're also getting caught up with Gotham on Fox. So I guess we're watching a lot of Fox lately. Getting caught up on Gotham. And we're a couple episodes behind, so we're getting close to the season ender, which I think is scheduled to air tonight, the night that this podcast goes up. So who knows if we'll be caught up by then. But, that's a show that is the crazier it gets, the better it gets. So, and this show is off the wall bonkers. So,
Yeah.
there you go. Gorehound, Man Crush.
Man crush.
Kev from Shameless. I believe he was the last one. But yeah, he's just a solid guy. In each episode, I'm like, this guy is great. Like, the entire show is just so shitty. Everybody is a shithead. Everybody is awful. But Kevin seems to be like the one who makes the fewest mistakes and seems to be the most like well-rounded person who isn't going to just like turn his back on everybody like the next moment. Yeah, great guy, Kev from Shameless.
I'm looking him up.
Yeah, it's the same guy, the guy from the New Girl episode, where like the guy that falls in love with Zoe like right off the bat. He's got long hair. Well, he did.
Isn't that like every guest star character on that show?
Starts off with long hair and then.
Oh, I mean, just like it's a new guest star.
Yeah.
She falls in love with Zoe.
Zoe's man crush of the week.
Yeah, literally.
Moving on.
I guess we move on. Let's go to our topic today, which is 1995's Clueless. So, as I was talking to Jen before we started this episode, I didn't watch it. I
don't know why not.
I never got around to watching it originally back when it first came out, and for whatever reason, I just never. I've seen scenes, but I haven't seen the whole thing through.
Was it just that you never got around to seeing it, or that you really just had no interest in seeing it?
I just never got around to seeing it. I mean, it looked funny,
Okay.
and everyone was telling me how great it is. So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't mind Alicia Silverstone, but it wasn't on Netflix. It wasn't at my library. It wasn't at the local Red Boxes.
Yeah, I was pretty furious that I couldn't find it anywhere because I really wanted to rewatch it last night.
It is on Amazon, but I wasn't about to spend $4 to watch it. Because Jen, maybe you could explain this to me. What is Amazon full screen?
Oh, I have no idea.
So they have this other streaming service that isn't Amazon Prime, and I was like, "What is this garbage?" So
I know that they're doing the Amazon Unlimited Music, where like only some of it is on Prime and the rest is on Unlimited. But I don't know the distinguishing level for the two. But I didn't know that they were doing that for movies. I hate the Amazon app. It's just so difficult to. Whenever you find something, it's like, oh, pay $4. It's available, but pay $4.
yeah. So I guess Gorehound, you and Jen will be taking the lead on this episode, and I'll just be sitting here going, Or you can tell me how great it is and why I'm an idiot for not watching it. So that'll be today's topic.
Yeah. Jen, do you want me to go? I'll go over the brief premise as I remember it. I'm going to butcher it, but that's how my 20-year-old memory is going to act with this. Oh, I think it's 22 years old. Yeah, 22. So basically, we have this. It's Los Angeles, right?
Yes.
Los Angeles high school girl who is trying to. There's a new girl that comes in, and Alicia Silverstone, is trying to like pretty her up and help her get like a boyfriend because she is such a good person. And so she's very ditzy. She's a valley girl. It's very funny all along the way because of how ditzy and valley girlish she is. Hilarity ensues. She falls in love with the new girl's brother. And
all right. So none of that is correct.
Summary.
None of that was correct.
Okay. Well, some of it was, but let's hear you refine my story.
Okay, so Cher is a 16-year-old girl going to high school, and she's got her best friend Dion. She's got her ex-stepbrother Josh, and a new girl, Ty, played by Brittany Murphy, comes to town, and she decides to give her a makeover, and they all become friends. And then she's trying to make everybody, her mission is to make everybody's life better. But in the process, of course, she ends up screwing up a lot of things and, gets in fights with her friends and, flirts with her ex-stepbrother. And, in the end, gets together with him and, has set up two of her teachers. It's, well known for being a play off of the book Emma.
The Jane Austen book.
Wait, hold on. Back up a second. Alicia Silverstone gets together with her stepbrother? Is that what you said?
Her ex-stepbrother.
That doesn't make it better.
You know what? I mean, I don't have any stepbrothers. I can't speak to it, but some people do at various points in their lives.
They're not going off and getting married. We should say that.
No, they're just screwing around, which is so much worse.
Right, but so she, there's a line in the movie, where she says, this is, you were hardly even married to, says to her father, you were hardly even married to his mother, and that was 5 years ago. Why is he always here? So, it's not as if they grew up together. It's not as if they spent a lot of time together previous to this.
Okay.
Sure. I mean, I read a lot of, Gothic novels. Not Gothic novels like the traditional Gothic novels, but there was, this weird period in the 70s and 80s where there were, a lot of novels about incest, like Flowers in the Attic or, whatever. And, so it's not that bad. Not even as bad as an episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I don't think Game of Thrones is advocating that hooking up with your siblings is a good thing.
But there was more incestuous action on Game of Thrones than there was in Clueless.
Okay. Well, all right. We'll drop this. I'll drop this otherwise we'll be stuck on this podcast for 900 hours.
Right.
And ain't nobody got time for that. Mm-mm. So, Jen, why did you pick this movie?
I feel like this movie is something that I loved as a child. It came out when I was 11 or something. No, I guess I would have been 10. Anyway, but it came out when I was young, and I thought it was great. And over the years, I've rewatched it, a handful of times, and every time I rewatch it, I think, yeah, this movie really stands up. In preparing for this podcast, I did read a couple interviews with the director, Amy Heckerling, and I was pretty impressed, to read about how, younger generations are finding this movie, about how, people our age would watch it with their parents, and now their kids are watching it. It's just, it's pretty crazy how well the movie stands up 22 years later.
Yeah. I hate to jump forward, but what do you think between this one and Mean Girls is? I feel like they are very similar, both in their, the nature of the characters and just the funniness of it. Do you see that?
I think, they're both movies about teenagers.
In high school.
Female teenagers in high school, and both of the movies, are very funny. And I think, they have different senses of humor. I mean, not entirely, but I think one reason you'd kind of link the two of them is they're both known for having humor that's not making fun of the lead characters, but, is also letting them be funny in their own right. I think it's very easy to make a teen movie where the whole point is to make fun of how dumb teenagers are. But I think that that's not something that's going to last. It's when you take them seriously, something like this or, Pretty in Pink or, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where you kind of take the teenagers seriously, I think tends to do better than
I can see that.
Don't.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I saw this movie through osmosis when I was younger. I don't really remember the first time I saw it, but I know that I've seen it many times. Primarily for the 90s nostalgia. I feel like this is a classic 90s movie that you can just fit in with the group of, Ferris Bueller's or 16 Candles. It just fits very well in there, and it makes you feel good. And you're not really judging it whether it's good or not, because you're being transported back to this magical place we call the 90s. And it's fun, regardless of what it's about, what's going on.
Well, clearly you didn't know what was going on based on your summary.
Hey, I still stand. That was a solid...
I like my movie better.
I think that was a solid 10-second synopsis. I am very interested in reading the Jane Austen adaptation aspect of it, because I feel like whenever you're taking something from either Jane Austen or Shakespeare, you already have a whole bunch of legitimacy that your story is going to be very intricate and unique and fun, which you would rarely see something reproduced in that aspect today.
I don't know. I think that would happen more often than we think. I see what you're saying, but
yes, we have unique and good directors today, but stuff that...
Well, I guess when they take something like Shakespeare and put it with a modern twist.
Yeah.
I think that happens. He's drawn from a lot, but that's just
me.
Yeah, I would say, there's a lot of things out there that will pick up aspects of a story. Think about 10 Things I Hate About You. But, I will say, so I have not read Emma, but I have, read a lot about it. And, it does appear that it's a pretty close adaptation. It's pretty amazing how many plot points transfer very well to a high school.
Do you think that you will read it?
Here's the thing. I really want to think I will.
Yeah.
Right? I want to believe I will.
Yeah.
But probably I won't.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I think I moved past the point of reading historical literature, just because sometimes it just gets... I just want to read comic books at, most of the year. So
there's so much stuff to read, watch, listen to. I feel like sometimes if I just come home and I don't watch TV or don't...
Yeah, you fall behind.
Right. I feel, not only am I falling behind, but I feel like there's all these TV shows I'm never going to catch up on unless I break my leg and can't go to work for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
One of the reasons, not to go back to the beginning, but it makes, you kind of brought it up inadvertently. One of the reasons my wife and I were so behind on 2 of those shows is because we're still catching up from when we went to Ireland back in October.
Yeah.
Right. And what are you going to do? You just, it's really hard to make there be more time.
It's sad when sometimes I think, if only I could freeze time for 24 hours, I could catch up on all these goddarn TV shows. And I'm like, life. What else we got?
Paul Rudd's in this movie.
Yeah, there were a lot of stars which you see today that, looking back, you're like, what? The one that caught me off guard was Turk from Scrubs.
Yes.
Donald Faison, I believe his name was. Paul Rudd, Brittany Murphy, Stacey Dash, as you mentioned, and obviously Alicia Silverstone. Breckin Meyer, who is just 90s 100%. Which is the weirdest name, I think. Breckin Meyer. I tried searching for it and I couldn't figure it out because I couldn't. I didn't know what it was. I don't know if it was
What,
like the first and last name.
The name Brecken?
Yeah, I've never heard anybody with that name. I thought it was just like one long name or.
You know, I would have to say, I feel like I've never met Breckenmeyer, but if I had to guess, I would say he's exactly like his character in the movie.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Breckenmeyer?
He was on Franklin and Bash.
Oh, that's right. I remember that show.
That weird TBS thing.
He was on Road Trip. What else do you need to do?
Oh, my.
Yeah, that looks like his last... what he is most known for is Road Trip. And if that is what he is most known for, then I don't think he accomplished a whole lot after that. Jen, what else are you thinking about this movie?
Oh, well, let's see. So, I think it's really fantastic. I think one of the things that it is also kind of well known for over the decades has been its use of slang.
As if.
Absolutely. Well, you know, Amy Heckerling, who wrote and directed, she like sat into a Beverly Hills high school just to kind of get some of their slang down and everything. So there's a lot of stuff that, like, you know, so the movie didn't invent it, but it definitely popularized it. You know, people did not really say whatever until this movie. I mean, just as an example, and now people say it all the time, you know, throughout the world. And, you know, in many ways, that's because of it was popularized from this movie. And I think it's really interesting because it doesn't feel as dated as other movies. You know, I don't feel like it feels dated. I feel like a lot of the slang feels kind of realistic and, you know, not like, you know, that meme of like the old guy who's like, you know, hey kids, you know, I'm one of you or whatever. It definitely doesn't feel like that. It feels like a genuine,
yeah, the script was very good. It flowed very well, and you just felt like you were there because it seemed like what a high school party at that time would be like. Absolutely.
So it's really, you know, I think it's such a brilliant movie. I'm so glad it exists out there, and I really, you know, I hope people, like, for instance, Nick, get a chance to watch it.
I presume you would rather watch this one over Mean Girls, is that correct?
I like both of them. I don't think you have to pick. I think you could watch both of them and enjoy both of them.
Well, if you're in the workout room and one TV has Mean Girls and the other TV has Clueless.
And you have to pick which one's your favorite, otherwise the earth will blow up. Which one will you pick?
No, there's a treadmill in front of each TV, and you can't run on both treadmills at the same time.
Right.
Which treadmill are you going to pick?
God. I think I'd rather go get some cheese fries, you know?
I know from experience, there are a few movies that I put on while I am working out, and Mean Girls is one of them.
So how many times would you say you've seen Mean Girls?
Oh, jeez. At least once a month.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, where I watch, I would say, 60% of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That and Resident Evil movies.
Well, there's so much similarities between the two. I could see why you would pick them.
I don't know why. It's those are the two movies where I'm going through the guide and I don't want to watch any CNN. So I'm like, Mean Girls, Resident Evil, let's do it.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know. Nobody ever said I was normal. All right. So this movie, Alicia Silverstone.
Right.
We don't really see her a whole lot anymore.
She's in a movie this summer, The Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
It's true.
Yeah, which still confuses and befuddles me. Is that a remake already? Is it a sequel?
It's a, from what I understand, it's a reboot sequel. Like it's like a brand new cast and crew, but they're adapting a different book.
The Graveyard Queen even went out and bought those DVDs. She liked them so much. We watched them quite frequently. And now that they have a whole new cast with like an Asian brother, it's like, I wanted a loaded diaper.
I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know either.
You've seen the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies, right?
No.
No, because I'm past the age of 12.
Oh my god.
Right.
You guys,
Here's
we
the
have to
question.
get on the
How
same
old
page.
is your house?
We are out of sync, okay? We have not watched any movies that any of us have watched.
Hello, we watched the movie Hop.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you have us over, we'll watch Diary of a Wimpy Kid with you, and
we'll podcast
and then
it.
we'll podcast it afterward, yeah.
All three?
We'll start with one and go from there.
All right, if I invite you guys over at 3, we can get through all of them in one night.
Okay,
Yeah.
I do until evening.
All right. That'd be fun. So what did you think of Alicia Silverstone in this? She held it together, right?
She is, like, perfect in the role. And I think it's so interesting because her career really never quite took off. I mean, I kind of get the feeling she didn't care so much about that.
Yeah.
She's definitely, like, she's a weird hippie, like, chews her food and then gives it to her kids kind of mother. Like, I don't entirely get it. She
is an oddball.
Yeah.
Well,
But I like her uniqueness, and she really, I feel confident she is doing exactly what she wants to do right now.
well,
absolutely.
You know what kind of derailed her career?
What was that?
When she played Batgirl, which
Oh yeah.
around this time, Alicia Silverstone, she was kind of like an it girl, and when Batman and Robin came out, the only person that kind
Greatest Batman ever.
What's that?
Greatest Batman ever.
You bet. Everyone's career, except maybe for Arnold Schwarzenegger, because he was a pretty big star beforehand, everyone's career like really took a hit, and it was a while before any of them got acting roles, or at least anything prominent again.
That's true.
Clooney kind of came out probably the quickest, but it was a while before Chris O'Donnell had anything, and then also a while before what's her name, Uma Thurman. So yeah, that movie did no one favors. If she didn't do that film, I bet she would have her career would be in a different trajectory at the moment.
Okay, so maybe her doing what she wants to do right now maybe just fit right in line with how the movie went.
Wasn't she on Suburgatory?
I don't know what that is. Is that a TV show?
Well, I don't know. I've never seen it. I just think that she was in it.
Let's just assume she is, and Alicia, if you're listening, which I know you are,
Absolutely.
come on next episode. You could talk about your time on Suburgatory, or if you weren't on it, you could say you weren't.
Right. And you could just come hang out with us. You could watch Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Mm-hmm. You could. Well, I'm sure she's seen it because she's in it.
Well, sure.
But
She's got.
so.
Maybe she isn't doing what she wants, because I see that she's actually done quite a few movies, and I haven't heard of any of them. And I don't know. Yeah, she did Suburgatory and just a whole bunch of weird movies that I've never seen. But I don't know. But yeah, I felt like this movie would not have been the same without her. She held together, 70% of the cast was... 70% of the success of the cast was from her. Just her attitude and the way that she carried herself. And she was the best person in this school. And despite what anybody else thought, that's how she lived.
Did any of you ever watch the Clueless television show?
I was actually looking at that IMDb article for a long time, and I was like, this doesn't seem like what I remember. And then I realized it was a TV show.
I definitely watched it, and then I rewatched 2 episodes to prepare for the
Do you own
podcast.
it?
No, well, I mean, I don't even know if it's on DVD or not. I just watched it on YouTube. It is amazing what people will upload to YouTube. But anyway, they've got a bunch of episodes. I don't know if it's every episode, but I watched 2. It was like the first episode of the second season, and then the last episode of the second season. It was on for 3 years. First
And
on
Silverstone is in each of those, right?
No.
no, she got replaced by what's her name? Someone else.
Rachel Blanchard.
Rachel, yeah, who pops up every so often in something, and every time I see her, I definitely do that, like, I know you from somewhere, but I can't decide where. Anyway.
The fake share from Clueless TV show was in Snakes on a Plane.
I'm sorry. So Thor wants you to know that she was in Snakes on a Plane, which I have not seen. So
apparently most people haven't. So
greatest movie ever.
Okay, I don't even know if he's seen it.
Keep in mind you're marrying that, so just.
Oh, I know, right? Well, it's not too late to run. But anyway, so so I watched the show. I rewatched 2 episodes just to try to get a feel for it. I definitely watched it, at the time, and guys, it is so terrible. And I have to say, they are trying very hard to recreate the magic of the movie, but so there's kind of 2 ways in which it fails. First of all, scripts are terrible, and not just kind of terrible in that it's hard to come up with 22 episodes per season, but in a in much the way that the movie managed to capture what felt like a very real high school, this just kind of felt like not a real high school, and part of it too with the movie is you do get a sense of the Beverly Hills life. You see actual houses that are gorgeous, and you see it's filmed at an actual Beverly Hills high school, and then I believe another high school as well. And so it feels very authentic. But then when you're watching the TV show, they have a much smaller budget, and a lot of stuff is clearly filmed on a sound stage, and it's so noticeable, But it's interesting because I did watch that show a lot as a kid, and I did like it. So I think there's probably something to be said for it. Something that junior high students would love in the same way that I loved, watching, let's say, Saved by the Bell when I was in grade school,
So you would say that all the characters in this, or all the girls in this, are Valley Girls. Would you say that? Is that the correct definition of the word? Or is Cher a Valley Girl?
Well, Valley Girl, I think, is something that, if I'm not mistaken, was more of an 80s thing. It was a... not to say, I mean, they are girls who are from Beverly Hills. In fact, they would not want you to call them Valley Girls because the Valley is a different part of LA. And they make it pretty, they keep talking about, the Val party, as being a, kind of lower class thing. So I definitely don't think they'd want to be called Valley Girls because, and I think that's a different time period anyway. Like I said, I think that's the 80s. I'm trying to remember. It was somebody's daughter who invented Valley Girls. Let's see if I can remember. All right. I'm pulling up ye old Wikipedia.
And I'm pulling up Urban Dictionary.
Perfect. Frank Zappa talking to his daughter Moon Unit.
Okay.
And then a 1983 movie called Valley Girl starring Nicolas Cage.
Oh, the first Valley Girl, Nicolas Cage.
Well, Nick Cage wasn't the Valley Girl in that movie.
I think he was.
I mean, he could make it work, no doubt about that.
I will say, guys, we should probably do a podcast one day on the 1983 film Valley Girl starring Nicolas Cage.
I think it should just be on this title, Valley Girl, and everything that corresponds with it. Let's get down to what is a Valley Girl?
That could be one you do solo, Gorehound.
Oh, come on. You're not just itching to talk about all aspects of this phenomenon, the Valley Girl?
Oddly enough, no.
No? All right.
So let's move on. What were we talking about?
Cher and Alicia
Cher.
Silverstone.
And the TV show, and how I think, one of the reasons the movie works is because you had Alicia Silverstone, whereas when you have Rachel Blanchard, who's trying very hard, but she's just not as good.
It's interesting. I'm just looking this up here. And, the TV show Cher is actually slightly older than Alicia Silverstone. You would expect that to be the reverse. Fun fact. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Well, Jen, you have anything else you wanted to mention about this?
Well, I think
fantastic in every way.
Of course, I think everyone should watch it. Nick, I'm going to send you home with it this weekend because I have it on DVD.
I'm down.
And so, in the next couple of weeks, whenever you get a chance to watch it, you and possibly the Kiwi will have to report back.
Yeah, I'm down.
Follow up.
Absolutely. Okay, so yes, that's everybody's homework. Rewatch it. Find all the think pieces from 2015 when they were celebrating the 20th anniversary. Read them, get back to me, and then we'll talk about it.
All right. Should we close this bad boy out and get onto trivia?
It's trivia time.
Yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
down. I got some trivia.
You do.
I do. I don't have it in the form of a question, but I will give you some cool trivia about the show, about the Clueless. So where was this? Let me pull this up here. So everyone knows Iggy Azalea. Is it Iggy? How do you say her name?
Iggy Azalea.
Yeah. So the movie Fancy, which is a terrible song, but the movie Clueless was actually the inspiration for that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess the video for it was filled with. They remade a lot of scenes from Clueless, so like the music video was very heavily inspired by that, and I guess it was also filmed in the same high school that Clueless was filmed in. So clearly, this movie left an impression on Iggy.
Yeah.
Guys, what do you think happened to Iggy Azalea? It's been a long time.
She seemed to have gotten replaced by what's her face.
I can't follow pop stars. A new one seems to pop out of the records
well, they do call them pop stars. The one who just had the explosion at her concert. I can't think of her name.
Ariana Grande.
Yeah. I feel like Ariana Grande is kind of like risen from the ashes of Iggy Azalea.
She just looks like she's 12 years old.
Well, have you seen Iggy?
I'm not sure. She has like really blonde eyebrows, right? I
guess they're kind of blonde.
I'm not sure if I've ever looked her up.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like her. They kind of come from the same sort of mold, and I feel like the Iggy disappeared and Ariana kind of took her spot. So take it for what it's worth.
I was going to do some trivia because on NPR all this week I've been hearing about the spelling bee. It's a national spelling bee going on this week, and I was going to give you guys one of the winning words over the years, and I realized I can't pronounce any of these, so it's kind of unfair because I think that's kind of critical to how you spell it. And I don't know. So I'm just going to drop it.
That was I'm glad you brought that up. It was a great addition.
So, in honor of National Spelling Bee, week or competition, I am going to humbly drop it.
Okay.
Because an insult to the
Oh my
company.
god, I thought you were going to ask us to spell something.
Do you want me to?
No.
No.
Good.
We
So I can't
can,
pronounce
but we just choose not to. I do have one other piece of trivia.
All right.
For the TV show Clueless, Melissa Joan Hart was almost cast in the role of Cher.
I could see that. It's like the B-movie version of Cher. No insult to her, but
Wouldn't that have gotten in the way of her being Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
Well, let me look this up, because if what I learned was true, Clueless the show and Sabrina the show started about the same time. So I'm guessing she was probably auditioning for a bunch of different shows, and let's see, Sabrina started in September 96, and Clueless started in September 96. So she was probably auditioning at the same time when both of these shows, and she got Sabrina, and that was probably the more successful show of the two. Well, it was the more successful show of the two.
It was definitely on for like 7 years.
And then later the show Clueless crossed over with Sabrina, so there you go. It all comes full circle. And now
All right.
Sabrina's going to be popping up apparently next season of Riverdale, so...
Ooh.
God, I hope so. Every part about Riverdale is bananas.
I look forward to watching it this summer now that it's on Netflix.
Absolutely. And I look forward to hearing all of your thoughts.
Maybe I'll watch it then. We'll see.
We can have a Riverdale podcast before the new season begins.
Absolutely.
Or
Yeah.
not. Awkward
Nope,
silence.
nope, you already agreed.
All right. Ready to close this bad boy out?
I think so.
All right.
Absolutely.
I forgot how I
do you
kick it
want
off.
me to do this?
Go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead.
All right. I'm Nick.
I'm the
I'm
Gorehound.
Damn it.
That's a wrap, everyone.
Okay. Bye, everyone. You've been listening to the all-new Culture Cast, one of Chicagoland's finest podcasts.
You're making me fall asleep to death.
Well, I guess there's not much we can do about that. In the meantime, check out our blog at znculturecast.wordpress.com. Send us an email at nick.culturecast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your feedback, comments, and requests. Follow us on social media. Theme music by bensound.com. This has been a Saltwater production, copyright 2017. Thanks for listening. I am recording. What is that sound?
Sorry, guys. I'm getting comfortable.
Are you made out of metal now?
It's my microphone. This is a stupid microphone that costs like $120. Okay, just bear with me.